Man, it's about to be another video every Friday. I think it's like 4 minutes from 1 o'clock. Today is Friday. I'm on time. People, I know they be like, man, he never on time. Today is Friday. Today is Friday. So I'm about to start recording right now. Everybody get their blankets, their snacks, their drinks. Start getting smoking in their beds. It might be a little scary action video. I'm pretty sure, hopefully it's scary.
Oh, I'm talking. You actually heard me. Everything I said. Go do it.
It's every Friday. Get your blankets. Get your snacks. Get your drinks. Probably a scary video. A reaction video. I know I'm gonna make a gaming video as well next Friday. So y'all just stay tuned for that as well. It will be a gaming scary game next Friday. Hopefully your boy don't chicken out because it's be too scary, because you know how I be. But like I say, thank you God for waking us up this morning, for new life, a new day. It's a blessing to wake up next morning, to live in your name. Even though things get hard, you still live in your name. So thank you God. Let's pray. Thank you for this day. Thank you for waking us up this morning. I pray that today be a great video for every Friday. And like, we don't condone anything that's in the videos. We condone only good stuff and holy things. So I just pray that we be able to continue living your name. Today be a great video, and that we will have a great time. Just not pray. Amen. T-Fam, let's get into it. If you want to subscribe, you can. You don't got to. Always watch my video. That's the only thing I need, for real. Thank you for that. If you want to subscribe, it will be very, very thankfully, and I'd be really, I can't speak, y'all. I would be appreciative if you do. So you don't got to. I don't want to pressure you or anything like that. But if you want to actually do this, some dude named NJV Animations. Please, YouTube, do not demonetize me. Do not demonetize. What? Do not send me any copyright, please. You be seeing copyrights like crazy. YouTube, I don't know why, but YouTube, please. I don't want to get copyrighted. So you watch this video, and the dude whoever made the video, please don't copyright me, please. Watch this part of the video, please. Do not copyright me, please. I already have 2 strikes. YouTube, please do not copyright me for reacting to this dude named NJV Animations. I'm reacting to you, bro. I see your videos, it look pretty good, so keep the good work. But YouTube, do not, please, just don't copyright me, please, bro. You like to copyright me a lot. I already have 2 strikes. Stop, please. Okay. Hopefully you watch this part of the video. Do not copyright me, YouTube. Okay, I do not want to get copyrighted. I want to be a YouTuber, spreading the word, you know, of the word of God, and also be a YouTuber. I like YouTuber. I love the YouTube. It's fun for me. I love doing it. So please do not copyright me. Alright, that's all I have to say. Disclaimer. Alright, we end the reaction, guys. We end the reaction. Alright, like I said, blankets, snacks, drinks, whatever you need, watch this video. But it's called 3 True Sleepover Horror Stories Animated. Yes, it's by MG Animations. MG Animations, hopefully you watch me. I know you might not, but please send YouTube to not copyright me. Please don't.
And I know it's about to be fire, because I just know it's about to be fire. But like I said, let's get into this video. Headphones on. You feel me? Actually, no, I don't have headphones. I don't have headphones on. It's not in the top 5. But if you want headphones, watch headphones. I think it's best because, you know, the sounds, so anything that happen in this video might be best for it. But I don't know. But let's get to the video though.
This happened to me when I was a teenager, and this still haunts me to this day. I was babysitting for my neighbor across the street, Alice.
Okay.
I babysat for her often, almost every weekend, so we were very comfortable with one another and had a good routine. Rarely, Alice would have a friend sleep over, and on this particular night, that was the case. Jennifer was a first-time sleepover date, so she was a bit nervous, but I did my best to make her happy. Alice's parents left at around 6:30 p.m., setting the alarm behind them as they went.
So it's crazy.
I bathed both girls and got them into bed to watch some Nickelodeon, as was our usual routine. Once the girls were happy, I went into the kitchen to grab some snacks.
Who was that?
It was pouring rain outside, and
was
next to
that?
the kitchen was a breakfast nook with glass doors
Yo!
and a series of glass windows.
Wait a moment.
As I was prepared,
Okay, first we said it was glass windows, there's no curtains. Which I don't understand. Who in the right mind think it's cool to not have curtains? Like, you need your privacy. Privacy is the best thing to have. So somebody gonna see you regardless. You have great open windows. Not safe. Not recommended to do that. Do not. I don't know why people think it's cool to have. I don't even think it's a cool trend, but people low key be having their windows wide open with no curtains and just have it and rock with it. I don't understand how is that even like a thing, because I would not want that. That's kind of creepy. You don't know who's watching you when you sleep, so that's always a red flag right there, bro. You need curtains, bro. Like, it's no way you have no curtains in your windows. I'm just saying it's not safe. It's not cool to do. I don't think it's a cool thing, but like, it's not the right thing to do, you know, because you have weirdos like predators and people like that want to be kids, or serial killers that like to kill people, which I don't recommend why they do that, but I don't want to say recommend, but I don't know why they do that. Just say that have windows and curtains in your windows, man. I always have that for safety purposes, bro.
to walk back into the room, the phone rang. Alice's parents called often, so I always answered the phone. I picked up the phone and asked who it was. "Hi, how are you?" a male voice asked. "Hi, I'm doing well," I replied. "Are you calling for Jason, Alice's father?" "He isn't home, but I can take a message." "Maybe," he says to me, "maybe I'm calling to talk to you." Now, my spidey sense wasn't ringing just yet, and I figured it was a family member or a friend who was bored and wanted to chat. I politely but quickly said I had to go. The girls were calling for me to bring their snacks, so I hung up the phone. I brought Alice and Jennifer their snacks and was about to settle into the recliner chair in Alice's room when I heard the phone ring again. I hustled back into the kitchen to answer it without really thinking anything was peculiar. At least, not yet. You know, it's rude to hang up on people, don't you?
It's not.
He started off, but he wasn't angry or aggressive. It was a little hard to hear him over the thunder and rain, and both girls were calling for me to come back because they were scared of the thunder. "I'm sorry," I said. "I have to get back to the girls. Have a nice night." I heard him say something, but hung up before I could hear what he said. The phone rang again. "Don't hang up on me," he said, with anger in his voice. But I hung up again.
Hang up on him.
I was getting nervous at this point. I went back in the room with the girls, and the phone rang again. At that point, Alice was asking me to not leave her again, so I didn't answer.
I don't
But the phone rang again and again.
Bro,
Finally, 10 minutes had passed without a call, and it rang again. This time, I thought that perhaps it was Alice's parents, so I peeled myself away from the girls to go and answer the phone. "You cunt, don't you hang up on me," he screamed.
Okay, gotta censor that out because I wasn't expecting to hear that.
"Leave me alone. If you call again, I will call the cops, you psycho," I screamed back. I hung up the phone and turned around to see Alice and Jennifer were now standing behind me. They looked terrified, so I offered to get some ice cream bars from the freezer. I went to the freezer and the phone rang again. Alice answered it. I don't know what he was saying, but I heard screaming, and Alice looked absolutely terrified. I grabbed the phone and was about to unleash on him when he said, "That's a nice pink shirt you're wearing."
It's crazy.
I hung up the phone and realized that not only was I wearing a pink shirt, but that during the second phone call I received, there was a clap of thunder that I heard on the phone at the same time I heard it in the house. It wasn't until that moment that the realization hit me. Now, I was a teenager at this point, thinking I was invincible and having no concept of my own mortality, but a higher sense of consciousness kicked in and guided my next few actions. I hit the light switch in the kitchen as it controlled most of the lights in that immediate area. I grabbed both girls, their barking dog Alex, and shoved us all into the pantry. The pantry door opened inward, so I pushed up against the shelves and shoved a giant bag of rice against the door. I then had my back against the shelf, my feet pushing against the rice to help secure the door, and I had a girl in each arm, with my hands over their mouths. I pinned the dog between my legs, and although he constantly...
Yeah, he got you. Bro, your dog got your pinpoint, bro. I'm sorry. But,
Does she have her phone on her? I don't know. Like, you always bring her. I don't know. People always forget their phone in this type of situation, which you should never do. Like, when it's going on, always call the cops. First of all, you should call the cops because she continually to spam call you. That's what you call disturb. I thought you call that people continue to expand, call you and like just like continue to bother you. I don't know what that's called. I don't know if it's a thing, but I just think that she should like like call the cops right then and there because like that's harassment. That's what we call it, harassment. It's harassing her. That's what it's called, harassment. She should call for harassment. You feel me? Because like now you don't have no phone on you, which I don't know. But I'm saying if you lost your phone, you could have been caught the cops. You could have been self that's. You probably could have been caught the cops.
I'm just thinking.
Barked.
It's just like saying
He somehow knew to stay quiet at that moment.
She got caught the cops.
And the alarm started sounding. And the phone started ringing. All of us were trembling, but I was determined to not cry in front of the girls. Between the alarm and the thunderstorm, I couldn't hear much. After what felt like an hour, I heard a female voice calling and asking if anyone was in the house. She was in front of the pantry and announced that she was a police officer and that it was safe to come out. She clearly knew I wasn't going to take her on her word, so she slid her badge under the door.
She did call the cops.
I moved 1 foot from the bag of rice and towed her badge towards me. The police had turned the lights on, so I was able to see from the light streaming in under the pantry door that this was in fact a badge. I cautiously made my way out of the pantry, shielding the girls behind me. The female officer, Officer Wesley, didn't look alarmed at all, and I quickly realized why. "It's scary when the alarms go off," she said. "But next time you need to answer the phone and let the alarm company know everything is okay, instead of hiding. Sending officers out to a house isn't a joke." I looked at her confusingly. "We didn't set off the alarm," I said, stammering, and I started to cry. "We haven't opened any doors." She looked at me with confusion and then said, "Then who made those footprints?" From the back door, the sliding glass door in the kitchen nook, to the pantry, and out of the front door were muddy footprints. In front of the pantry was a bunch of prints, as if someone had paced in front of the door for a while. The footprints led out of the front door, which was still open when the police arrived. I was hysterical, and the police called Jason and Janelle, Alice's parents, to come home from the restaurant. Within earshot, but clearly not meant for me to overhear, Officer Wesley's partner informed her that the door in the nook had been pried open. I looked out over the pool deck and could see where the trail of footprints had started from the grass and into the house. They were mostly dissolved at that point, due to their...
I think, bro, watch it from afar. You feel me? I'm locking in. I'm not speaking. I'm locking into this video because I'm actually like kind of like invested in what's going on. So Mans was already in there, right? So like, I guess like he had a police officer and he dipped. Obviously, like I would have like cursing when they can watch you from anywhere. You feel me? I'm just saying hypothetically, people can watch you from anywhere. I'm not trying to scare anybody, but like always keep your curtains closed at night because you never know who's watching. You never know who keep looking at you at any time frame. You feel me? So that's what you should learn from this video right here.
But it was very clear that someone had walked from the side of Alice's house and towards the glass door. We waited for Alice's parents to come home before I left. When the police recounted the night's events, I remember thinking in passing that neither of Alice's parents looked as terrified as I thought they should have. Given the events of the evening, the police walked me home and told my parents what happened. My mother and father were both very, very upset.
It should have been
A
terrifying.
few extra officers patrolled the neighborhood for a few weeks, but never caught the perpetrator. Nor was he ever heard from again. And I never babysat for Alice again. I was too frightened. Fast forward a few years, and Jason, Alice's father, went to prison for tax evasion. Or so we were told. Years later, when I was home visiting, I ran into Jason as he was leaving the house on his motorcycle. He stopped to chat with me, and I asked him the one nagging question I had for years.
Wait a minute.
Did you...
Wait a minute. I just thought about something, y'all. I don't know if y'all already like got on to what the story was talking about, but was he the person who was watching her? I don't know, man. Like I think about the lips and like lips that was like I can't speak. I was thinking about the lips what the person was saying who was like watching her, and like he wasn't terrified. As I said, his parents were terrified, but I feel like he was the person who was watching her. That's what I'm thinking. I don't know if y'all think the same thing. Y'all comment down below if y'all think the same thing, because I think he was watching her. Wow, you know what I'm saying?
Watching the kids for them, you feel me? I think he was the person who's watching her. I don't know. That's what I think.
Did you go to jail for tax evasion? Now at that point, Jason and Janelle were divorced. She left him for her dead sister's husband.
Dang.
Which is pretty dark, and I guess that Jason didn't feel that he needed to keep up any pretenses.
Okay.
He told me that, no, he was sent to prison for drug running. He regaled me with the tale of how he was caught in a high-speed chase and bragged about how he was one of the biggest dealers in the area for years, till he was busted. And then I knew. The person he was calling that night was trying to exact some sort of punishment on Jason. Maybe he was a rival dealer, or maybe Jason worked for him and had pissed him off. But that's why Jason and Janelle didn't seem as alarmed as they should have. By the grace of God and an alarm system, we were not killed that night, but I knew that Jason's actions had led to that night's events. I knew it in my gut.
So he is crazy. That's why you always, everywhere you go, bro, be safe, man. Always be safe wherever you go, bro. Like, you never know what could happen. Always, you know what I'm saying? Always just be safe and cautious where you go at, man. For real, for real. Because he was
a drug dealer out here. Gosh, I'm back. We're like, hey, dang, 14 minutes I've been recording. It's only 7 minutes of the video. I yapped. Because I was stuttering a lot, but you know, it is what it is.
This haunts me to this day, and I think I helped solidify a healthy understanding of my own mortality as well as the depravity that may be within others. I'm not overly paranoid, but I'm cautious. And I think rightly so. My stupid teenage antics, for the most part, stopped dead in their tracks.
She was a good one though. She was smart. I love that. Love that.
When I was in high school, I was like 16. I had a friend Lisa and a second friend Zoe. Lisa had like a lot of money, and her huge house was located right next to our high school. So every time we had a break or anything, the three of us would go there, and we would also have a lot of sleepovers at her house. It was this huge rich people's house, so it was awesome to stay there.
Wow.
So one day, we decided to stay the night there.
And then,
the three of us plus Lisa's little sister, Anna. Her mother was gone for the night. We decided to put on some PJs and watch scary movies for hours.
PJs.
Anna went to bed before us three, and we just stayed in the living room watching TV. At one point, the alarm goes on. It happens sometimes, so Lisa just goes to turn it off, and that was it.
Okay, no.
Then, like 10 minutes later, the alarm goes on again, and it scares us because it's not supposed to.
That's weird.
Technically, the alarm was made to only ring when humans came by, because the house was located in the middle of the forest, so we all knew that some second time it rang. We started to get a little bit scared, so we went upstairs, opened the windows to look at the garden all around the house, saw nothing. We even went on the balcony in the middle of the night.
Kind of weird.
Still nothing. I was alone on the balcony at some point, and the alarm went on again, and the automatic lights around the swimming pool turned on. That meant something was around the pool, and I was just above it. I got so scared I got on my knees and stayed there until my friend deactivated the alarm and the lights, and I ran inside the house.
Call someone.
At this point, we were really scared and started thinking about what it could be. If it has to be any human, all our lights were on, so they knew where we were. We turned all the lights off, and all four of us went hiding downstairs in the kitchen without our phones. I don't even know why not even one of us thought about taking at least one phone. So we were there, lights off, scared in this huge house, with windows everywhere we could look.
When that happens, no one will grab their phone.
Alarm went berserk again. Anna screamed, and Lisa took her with her, reassuring her while walking to shut the alarm off.
She's young.
Finally turn it off once and for all.
I'm sorry.
So I was in the kitchen with Zoe only, and we were just looking all around us. The alarm was upstairs, so the two girls were far from us. At some point, we heard footsteps right behind us, like right on the other side of the wall in the garden. It was fast, not scared, just fast, like that person knew where they were going. So we...
Why is there someone by the woods at your house? And why do y'all live by the woods? I want to know who thought of living by the woods was a good idea. You know what I'm saying? And first of all, second of all, like I've been saying through the video, grab a phone, call someone, but nobody want to call no one. Nobody want to think about calling the police. Like, the phone doesn't exist, you know. I don't understand that, you know. What I could do is, like I'm saying, hopefully y'all can make it safe. Feel me?
Just froze, waiting in the dark, and jumped when something, well, someone, it was obvious, walked by the door and window right in front of us.
Okay, why y'all...
We think it was a he, had a light, but it was another light that allowed us to see his silhouette.
Everything wrong, bro.
So there were at least two, running around the house for about at least 20 or 30 minutes. Detail, but this door was, like I said, a windowed door. But there were Venetian blinds on it, and they were not closed, of course. We were still not moving, and the girls upstairs were so scared that they stayed there. At least it's what they told us. Suddenly, one voice, then a second one. I was unable to understand anything, but I heard it. And Zoe and I were blinded by a sudden light right at our faces. We were literally not able to move, scream, talk, talk or do anything.
I mean, y'all.
Nothing we
that
could have done
scared.
was
Come on.
possible.
You can
We
call.
were just frozen in fear. The light stayed there. Someone was seeing us through the blinds. Somebody was watching us being scared and was just staying there. Suddenly, we heard a hard sound on the front door, which was closed. So we didn't move at all, but I don't know what took me. It just woke me up. And I crawled to the door in front of me, the back door, closed the blinds, and just held the door in place, in case the guy on the other side tried to force it open. Honestly, I'm small and thin. My little body was probably useless here, but I did it anyway. The one at the front door was still trying to enter.
Call.
Zoe's still not moving.
Can you call
The
Zoe?
two
Like,
girls
what you
upstairs
doing?
doing I don't know what. And the one just a glass
And
window
is
away
that
from me
alarm
started hitting
thing?
it,
You have like a
trying to force it open.
call thing
It was
on
closed, but I just grabbed the handle and hung it there for a while. He was just hitting and trying to open the door. All of this lasted hours in my head, but I believe it was only a few seconds. At one point, the hits at the front door stopped. A few seconds later, the other one in front of me stopped as well. Then, the lights just moved fast everywhere. The alarm did nothing. Zoe and I just slept in the kitchen, and the two sisters upstairs. Nothing happened at all. It was over. The next day, Lisa's and Anna's mom came back home, and we told her everything. Got a bit yelled at because we didn't call the cops.
That's what oh my gosh, that's what I said. Y'all got no brain. I'm sorry, I can be mad at things, but like, I don't like when people have an advantage to do something and they don't do it, bro. You had phones. You didn't call the cops whatsoever throughout the whole experience. I don't understand. 3 brains not working at all, you know. Only girl that did was the girl that orange. She tried to hold the door open, which is, I mean, it's a bold move to do when you're in fear. I'm not gonna lie. But nobody else didn't call the cops. Not even Zoe. Not even her. She was to, you know, keep her company. But her friend Zoe could at least call the cops. You know, you have phones for a reason. I don't know why they didn't use it. I'm just saying.
Get wrong at the time, but I understand now why she got upset. She called the cops, who went to see the house and discovered footprints all around it.
Yikes.
Some muddy footprints and marks on the front door. They said they must have kicked the door, and that was it. They told us it must have been some guys who were just doing some reconnaissance. You know, when they just walk around the houses to see how to rob them. It was common in this area. There were a lot of really big and beautiful houses filled with expensive things. The only thing I will never be able to explain is why they started being so aggressive. Originally, they were just walking around the house, but I think that if they were trying to see something or just look things up, they would have left when they realized we were inside, or at least left when that guy saw us in the kitchen. Well, they didn't.
Exactly.
The moment they saw us in the kitchen, they didn't see the two sisters. They started being aggressive and trying to force the doors to enter the house where we were. I don't know if they really wanted to rob the house. I will never, and honestly, I don't want to know. I didn't spend any more nights at this house. I was so scared that they would come back again that I couldn't sleep there. Lisa was a bit mad, like she didn't understand, but from what she told Zoe and me, she didn't see them. She just stayed upstairs with her sister. I understand it, but I wasn't able to stand the fact that she couldn't understand how scared I was as well. I must have been around 8 years old at the time this happened,
That's
and
weird.
my sister was 12 or 13.
Okay.
We lived in a tiny little house that we called the shack, that our mom moved us into after she split up with our father.
Dang.
It was all we could afford.
Dark.
My sister and I shared a tiny bedroom, but one perk about the house was the huge backyard, with a large above-ground pool and deck that we could always play on. We had a big privacy fence, and being the nosy little kid I was, I liked to climb on some of the wooden boards of the fence and check out the neighbors. I recognized the 2 little boys who lived in the house kitty corner to us, because they went to my school. I made it a habit every day to climb up the side of my fence and hang around and talk to them.
It's tough.
I never
Tough
actually climbed
friendship.
over the fence, just climbed a plank, so I was high enough to peer over and talk. They had an uncle named Randy who was probably in his 20s or 30s, and he was usually in the backyard doing housework, so
I got to know him as well. Ew. Bro, hold on, bro. I just had to just analyze what I was seeing, you feel me? Like, why is
Man, like he don't sleep, he don't drink water, he don't eat. Whole skins is pale. Be some Jesus, man. Get you lighten up, you feel me? But nah, Fredo, bro. He look like he don't eat, sleep, or anything. Like he just be just up all night. Just whatever he do, I don't know. He looks scary, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Your uncle looks scary, bro. Get your uncle, bro. Get your uncle a makeover or something. Like he just don't look human. Don't look human. You feel me?
Both me and my sister would hang on the fence and chat with him most days. The conversations were always innocent, and he seemed like a nice guy. Now looking back, I can see some red flags about him. I remember one time he had a basketball and accidentally threw it over our fence. We offered to grab it for him, but he insisted he could get it himself and hopped over the fence with ease. I thought nothing of it at the time, but I imagine this was to test how easily or fast he could scale the fence. One day in passing, my sister mentioned to him that our mom works the night shift, and therefore it was just the two of us alone at night in the house. That was all he needed to hear. Shortly after that, it happened. I woke up one night to the sound of my sister crying. We shared a bunk bed, me on the bottom, and when I stood up, she was out of bed, leaning against the wall on the phone crying. I asked her what was wrong, but she assured me everything was fine and to go back to sleep. So I did.
That's not true.
It wasn't until the next day that I learned what happened. Apparently, in the middle of the night, while our mom was away at work, Randy jumped the fence and tried to break in. He started banging on our bedroom window, telling my sister to let him in. She refused, but he wouldn't take no for an answer. So he started walking around the entire house, banging on the windows, yelling for her to let him in, and trying all the doors.
Whoa.
That's when she got out of her bed and called 911, and I woke up. Yeah, I have no idea how I managed to sleep through all that commotion, because she tells me he was banging on her window, right by the bed, loudly. But I guess you could just sleep like you're dead when you're little. Of course, by the time the cops arrived, all he had to do was jump the fence in 10 seconds, and he was back in his yard.
Dang.
They knocked on his door, but he denied he did it, so the police said there was nothing they could do. They were shaken up by the incident, of course.
Record, bro.
My mom wasn't able to change her work schedule, so she started having us stay at our dad's at night. A few years passed without incident, and we assumed everything was fine.
A few years?
I had long stopped talking to the boys next door. Then it happened again. Guess who slept through the whole thing again? My sister was a couple of years older now and had a group of her friends over for a sleepover one night. We had a sliding glass door to the backyard near where they were all sitting. The door had the typical vertical blinds, except weeks earlier one of them had broken and we couldn't get it to stay back on no matter what. So there was a gap in between the blinds where the broken one was gone. Anyway, the girls were all sitting around the couch playing board games when one of my sister's friends suddenly turned rigid. She said, "Don't freak out, but there's a guy standing at your sliding glass door."
Don't freak.
They all turned around and...
Did she just tell you to not freak out when somebody's staring at you through a window? You know how emotionless that is to not freak out when somebody's just looking at you like this through a window? Of course I'm gonna freak out. What do you mean? I'm gonna scream. Damn, that's like a little kid. Like I can't fight. But nah, like so I will low key like freak out like.
There was Randy again, his face pressed up to the glass where the gap in the blinds were, just watching them all. Naturally, everyone freaked out and 911 was called. Just like last time, he jumped the fence and the cops said they couldn't prove anything, even though they described what he was wearing, and he answered the door in the same outfit when the police questioned him. That was the last straw, so we moved out of that house and got a restraining order against him. He didn't show up to court that day, so the judge automatically granted us the order. Never saw him again. Last I checked, I looked him up online. He's currently in prison for a bunch of random charges.
Sexually assaulted a stranger. That's... FBI, open up! But nah, like, that was tough. MGV animations. You can search them out. I'll have a link in the description. Nah, like...
Through all these videos I've been watching, most of them had because of blinds. Like, no blinds. Just blinds not being there, you feel me? Like, obviously, like, I thought about like the other one, like when the blind was up, like, so I could see like their like movements or whatever. That's tough. But like the first one was like you need blinds. Like blinds are important in nowadays societies because people would watch your kids, watch anybody, no matter who it is. Just watching kids, most watching kids though, to let them in. Like, so please have blinds in your houses, man, or wherever y'all live at. Have blinds, bro. It's really important. Also, man, call the cops when you seeing things happen, because the other people did not call the cops. I don't understand why. Like, the whole experience did not call the cops. I don't understand what was the reason not to call the cops. But yes, call the cops when something happening, and always don't be afraid of nobody, bro. No matter what happened, don't be afraid of nobody when somebody trying to come and get you, bro.
When something happened, bro, those hands, you feel me? You have hands for a reason. Throw them when it's needed to be. You feel me? So don't be scared as well. But hopefully you watch this video. Hopefully you enjoyed this as well. Leave a like if you want to. Subscribe if you want to, man. I'm not forcing you, man. Hopefully you watch the video. I'm just glad you watched the video as well. But I would really be thankful if you do like and subscribe. I'll be thankful as well. If you want to. My eyes itchy. But yeah, man. That was the video. Hopefully you enjoyed. 31 minutes long when it's a 19-minute video of a reaction. But the video that he made was 19 minutes. And the reaction was 31 minutes. I know I yapped. Tone down with that. Next time I'll make sure I don't make it that long. I'll make sure I go within the the range of the video. If it's needed, you feel me?
If I had to react for 1 minute, you gonna watch the video. The whole video, I don't care.
And beware for another video, another Erie Friday. It's gonna be on the game. Stay tuned for that. Cause it's gonna happen. And I love y'all. See y'all soon. And like I say, God first, everything is possible within him. You can do anything you want to do. Cause you have God first. No one can stop you. If it's God's plan, no one can stop you. Remember that. God love you and I love you as well. Peace.